Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you fresh off the news of yesterday of Stone Cold Steve Austin finally putting the knife into the end of the rumor that will never die. All of us, if you were a fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin during the Attitude Era, is honestly just asking for one more match. The way Stone Cold Steve Austin left us, honestly, he's made a lot of appearances here or there along the way. A lot of us, if you're like me, wish that there was more of them, but Stone Cold Steve Austin is the kind of superstar that I don't think he just wants to be the kind of guy who's going to show up and, just not do anything. If he shows up, he wants to make an impact. He does not want to hurt the legacy that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Everyone can remember the last, big get-together. I think it was Raw 1000. He didn't make the 15-year anniversary. He hasn't made this, that, and the other, but he's always had an excuse here or there. But the last excuse he used, I believe, was that he had just had shoulder surgery, and he didn't look the way he wanted to look coming out on TV. He didn't want to be the fat Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you were watching back in the day when Stone Cold Steve Austin came back from the neck surgery, and he basically was going to kick the shit out of Rikishi on, no, it wasn't the Rikishi match where he came back and everybody said he was fat. He was a special guest referee of some, was he the special guest referee, the six-pack challenge? Whatever it was, he was the special guest referee, and that was you watched, no, there wasn't YouTube back then. You had to read reviews on people's websites. I can remember those days, but everybody's website was basically just saying how fat and out of shape and everything Stone Cold Steve Austin was. I watched it. Even looking back at it today, he might look a little bit bigger than he normally did, but he looks a whole lot better than me, and I was just pumped to see him. Fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. But the rumor that's been going around is that Stone Cold is going to have one more match. We've heard it for 27, 28, 29. I mean, this rumor is never going to go away. Everybody wants to see Stone Cold wrestle one more time. When Stone Cold left us as a wrestler, it was the Wrestlemania match, him and The Rock from Seattle. You can debate whether that's a good match or not. I think that it's a good way to end their trilogy of matches, but it doesn't live up to the first two. Obviously, I think most people in the world is going to pick the big match from the Astrodome as being one of their favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rock matches. But the rumors that were coming out a few months ago was that they were trying to build up to this McMahon versus McMahon angle, and they don't want Vince to wrestle, but they want to have Triple H to have some big blow off to sort of move into the Triple H Helmsley era once again, but this time not in storyline, but for real, I guess you can say, with Triple H taking over the company and Vince, taking that backseat role. That Vince McMahon would sort of pick his arch nemesis and Stone Cold Steve Austin to be the guy that fought for the company and fought for him against Triple H. Right away, I thought this was not the thing that we needed to see. We don't need to see another Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H match. If it came down to it and I'm sitting my butt in that seat and it comes on, I'm hoping for a good match. But as of right now, there's so many people in the world that want to see if Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back to put over a guy from today's era. Not really put him over, but just give him that rub of having that match. So many people, when they look at CM Punk, they like to draw comparisons between Stone Cold Steve Austin and CM Punk, and it's helping a whole lot that when CM Punk finally dropped that huge pipe bomb that put him on the mainstream wrestling, blogosphere, where everybody became a CM Punk fan. That one night on Monday Night Raw, he was wearing that Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt, and I don't know if that was a shout out at that time or something like that, because him and Austin had been, sort of plotting and planning this match, this sort of dream match for a long, long time. And that was like the exclamation point where shit, this might really happen. But then when you look at it, that was fucking 2 years ago, and we haven't got any progression on that. They sat down, they did the video game special for last year with Jim Ross, where they went back and forth, and if there was ever a time and a place for that match, it would have been last year. I know that Punk and Undertaker put on a wrestling clinic, and that was a damn good match, but, is that match ever really gonna happen? The thing that came out is that Stone Cold Steve Austin says it's going to take 3 months for him to get into ring shape where he's going to be able to have a believable and real match. He doesn't want to go out like Willie Mays. If you don't understand what that is about, was Willie Mays played for the San Francisco Giants for a long time, to the point of where the San Francisco Giants just didn't believe that he was the best player that he could be, and that they could get somebody else to fill that role, and it wasn't worth selling tickets to see Willie Mays to have that hole in their lineup. They traded him to the New York Mets, where he played for, I believe, 2 seasons there, and the Willie Mays that played for the New York Mets might as well change his name, because he wasn't really Willie Mays. He just was out there to sell tickets to the New York fans who had grown up seeing Willie play in his days before the team moved to San Francisco. Stone Cold doesn't want to go out that way. It's kind of weird to me that they'd be pushing towards this match when, at WrestleMania 28, they booked the end of an era match. And at that time, I was sort of looking at it I thought they were, telling us this is going to be Undertaker's last match. Looking at it now, I can sort of see that what they were hinting at was this is the last time we were going to see guys from the Attitude Era really go at it. It was supposed to be, the last big meeting of these guys. The last time you were going to have Shawn, you're going to have Triple H, you're going to have Undertaker all revolved into one match. Sort of in a way poking fun at TNA, who was still putting guys out there like Flair and Sting and Hogan, the guys of the 80s. They're still putting that out there like that's what people are really wanting to see. And when WWE is saying, you know what, it's time that we sort of box up these 90 guys and put them on the shelf and start moving towards the next thing of building up the next big wave of stars. And it's been debatable in the last year to 2 years if that's really what they've been doing. I don't know. Everybody sort of sees the end of an era as a different sort of thing. But you can see how emotional the end of an era match was to everybody that was involved. If you picked up the new Triple H DVD with McMahon crying in the back after the guys came back there, and all those superstars really just, they were there to congratulate them as they walked through the curtain because they had an awesome match. But you can see most of the superstars don't even really know what to do, because what do you really say to somebody like Triple H and The Undertaker when they come back after having a match like that? It's not like you really congratulate them, because they went out there and did what you expected them to do. But I'm beating around the bush a whole lot here, saying a whole bunch of stuff. But just personally, I'm really glad that Stone Cold can put the end of this rumor, and we can just sort of move on, knowing that we're never going to see that Stone Cold Steve Austin match, and maybe we can just set up the next time we can see a Stone Cold Steve Austin appearance. It kind of sucked that the last time I believe we saw him was WrestleMania 27 when he didn't even wrestle. He did hit the stunner a few times. Swagger took one of the best stunners I've ever seen, but he reffed the match between Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, being the only thing that was really involved in that match that anybody really cared about at all. And why that match went so long, I don't know. But from listening to the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, that match meant so much to Jerry Lawler. And if I was him, honestly, yeah, you did wrestle at WrestleMania, but I'd be honestly really embarrassed to the fact that that's the match they put you out there for. When, a month beforehand, Vince McMahon gave you the honor of actually going out there and wrestling for the WWE title, and, you were looked at by a whole bunch of people as a guy that was ruining a pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber, and that led to you wrestling and another announcer and basically killing WrestleMania for 30 minutes. Anybody ever pop in WrestleMania 27 to watch that show? I know it's really hated by a whole bunch of people, and if it wasn't for the Taker versus I almost said Shawn Michaels. If it wasn't for the Taker versus Triple H match, I mean, what on there is really something that you're like, oh, I really want to watch that right now. I mean, I don't think anybody's sitting here saying, I want to watch the Jersey Shore match, or maybe you might say that you want to watch Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, which really surprised me at how good that match was. Randy Orton versus CM Punk was a good match, but it's not something that I'm sitting here saying, I really want to watch that. So, I mean, if you're sitting down to watch 27 and that match starts of Cole versus Lawler, more than likely, aren't you just hitting the fast forward button, getting you to that next match along the way? But like I said in the beginning of this video, I really want to see Stone Cold someday. I don't want to say that he's never going to wrestle again, but being in his I mean, people have question marks if Sting's ever going to wrestle again. And Sting's going on, I just heard this. He's either turning 55 or he's turning 56. I can't remember. And I mean, Sting's a guy that really doesn't really look his age. Sometimes when you watch his matches and you're watching really close, sometimes he wrestles his age, if that makes sense. But he hides it real well. TNA lets him wrestle in the leotard that probably sucks everything in pretty well for him. And plus, if he wrestles on TV, he wears the t-shirt on top, which is one of the worst looks you can ever do in professional wrestling. I can see wearing the shirt down to the ring to try and sell some merch and, you know, boost up your paycheck in the company, but actually wearing it inside the ring just brings up memories of Ric Flair versus Sting on that last Nitro, and what that match really meant to WCW. But, you know, Flair wearing that shirt, no matter if he's in, you know, the best shape or the worst shape, to me just makes it a negative match in my mind. I'm pumped for WrestleMania 30. I know that they're going to give us the best show that they can ever give us, because it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania 30. It's New Orleans. So many people are going to be there. So many people are looking forward to this. It sucks that Stone Cold Steve Austin versus CM Punk or Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H isn't going to be on there. But, you know, here's the Stone Cold. I don't have a beer. I got this fucking beer mug. We can make believe that we got some beer, and then that's to you, Stone Cold and the working man. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day.